Welcome to Global Gist with BJ. And today we are going to be talking about a very important topic, leaving America. I know this topic doesn't bother everybody, entirely everybody in America, but the truth is, with the recent events that is happening, I'm so scared for a lot of people. Now, with the bill, being passed and all of that, and then with the constant immigration here and there, eyes here and there, and all of that. Today I watched in the news where I learned that the eyes salary have been even increased. That they're going to give them a whole lot of allowances added to what they earn every day. And now I can imagine how those people are about to even get more brutal. You understand? Now they are now being empowered to even do more than they were doing before. And so I thought about this and then I'm like, a lot of people in America are going to be depressed at the moment. So many people. This will affect both MAGA voters and people who never voted him and people who didn't even vote at all. People are going to go through this hard time because when they say there's no medic aid, it's not just for a certain people. It's not just for the black people. It's not just for the white people. It cuts across board. It's for everyone, right? And so now I began to think about this. What about you live in America for now and then look for other countries nearby and then stay there for a little time? And then maybe after this whole Trump stuff, you come back, What do you guys think? They have closer countries like Canada and then, Ireland and all of that. What about, relocating? I mean, living for a little while because a lot of you are going to be affected. I don't even like saying it, but that's the truth. A lot of you are going to be affected by this whole thing. It doesn't matter how we see it, but that's just the truth. So many people are going to be affected by you know, is it the high cost of groceries right now? A lot of things are going to change. If you cannot handle this mentally, that is why I am saying you could just leave, not like living permanently. Like look for somewhere and go there. You could do a little business. Trust me, you will cope. I've seen so many people left America. Like I have someone like that's very close to me left America and is in Nigeria here right now. And in fact, she will say she regretted why she hasn't even been here for such a long time. Like, why is it that she's even coming now? Now that's Nigeria. I know a lot of people be like, Nigeria. Be like, no, but there are also good places that you can stay. Make your enquiries. Yes, you can. It's really, really hard to relocate. That's just the truth. And America is termed as one of the best places to stay in the world. But right now, what's happening right now? To protect yourself, your mental self, to protect yourself from all of this thing, to protect your family and all of that, look for another place and relocate to at the moment, right? We have videos for you to watch and see people who have actually left. And then maybe you will learn from them. Because I wouldn't want any of you to be disgraced. Like, do you imagine what it means to be taken to that alligator Alcatraz? Can you even imagine what your family will go through and all of that? Being taken to that place, looking at how dangerous that place is, you wouldn't like that for yourself. And that is why I say, instead of all of that, you could just leave. But just watch these videos and then we'll come back, you know, to see what your thoughts are. In the meantime, do not forget to subscribe. Subscribe right now if you haven't subscribed. Hit the like buttons and then share these videos to your family members, to people who you think would need this information right now. And I'll be back.
So, I'm not trying to be a negative person here, but I've always prided myself on being honest, and I have been nothing but honest with all of you in every video that I've made and posted on this app. And so, with that, I'm just going to say if you are part of a marginalized population, if you are a person of color, if you are a woman, and if you are not a wealthy person, I would highly recommend pooling your resources, creating an exit strategy, crafting a plan, and getting the fuck out of here. As someone who has traveled the world extensively, I can say unequivocally that there are better places in the world than this country. There are places in the world that are far more affordable to live in and that provide a much better quality of life. And I know it's not easy to leave. I know that it is difficult. But I will say, once you're there, you're there. And you can always come back. Armed with that knowledge, I will say that if you create a legitimate plan, you can be out of here in as early as 6 months to a year. I know people with full families that have done it. I know single people who have done it. I know poor people who have done it. The one theme that all of those people have is they're happier now. They're free from the stress that they're put under with living in this country in these times. I would start with a passport, and then I would do extensive research on a place that you might want to live. And here's the thing. The point is getting the fuck out of here. Once you land in a country, there is nothing to say that if you don't like it, you don't have to stay there. But the point is you're gone. I would also maybe see if you could find some like-minded people who want to potentially move to the same place and pool your resources, because it's much more affordable to try and do it that way as opposed to doing it solo. I would research countries that allow extended stays with a passport and that have a, relatively easy visa process for Americans. Now, that process could be changing given the current climate that we live in. So I would probably venture to say that you should be making this plan ASAP. I would also recommend, again, and I can't reinforce this enough, get your fucking passport. It's not that expensive. Get your fucking passport. All right? That is your ticket to GTFO. That's the most important thing you got to do. And so armed with that knowledge, I wish you the best. If you have any questions about anything and I could potentially answer them for you, please hit me up. And I'll do the best I can to give you whatever advice that I can. And please take care of yourselves. Know that you do have options and that there is green grass on the other side of things. I love y'all. Take care.
Literally 90% of the people I come across is talking about leaving America, whether it's in real life or online. So many people are talking about leaving America. Even people who are white, straight, male, female, like who are a little bit less affected by what's going on, are talking about leaving America. Like, people are so uncomfortable. So many people want to leave this country. Never in a million years would I have thought that this would be a thing. Like, I've been talking about leaving America for like the last 1 or 2 years, but like in the last few months, like there are people in droves wanting to leave America. I personally want to leave because the stress of everything going on is just too much, and why have to deal with that if I don't have to? But I'm curious, like, why is everybody else leaving? I feel like I have an idea, but why is everybody else leaving?
All right, guys, I'm just going to say it. I'm leaving the country because I can't see a doctor here. I'm self-employed. I pay hundreds of dollars a month for health insurance. And yet every time I need something, oh, your doctor's not in network. Oh, we don't cover that. Oh, we assign you your primary care doctor 4 hours away and he's booked until October. Like, what am I even paying for? People always say, well, healthcare's bad in my country too. It can't be this bad. It cannot be this dire of a situation. There are no doctors here in Florida. Whatever long waits or paperwork you're dealing with,
Exactly.
at least your
That's
system
true.
exists.
That's
I feel like
true.
here everything is such a paywall. It's like a maze that just leads to a
Yeah.
trap every time. Ever since I got my own health insurance, I've been forced to switch every year because every single year the insurance companies drop my area and we're like down to one left. This was the only plan I could get that wasn't $200 more a month. But less and less doctors are taking these plans. So no one can see the doctor. And the doctors you can find are booked out for like 4 months. When I did sign up for this plan, they told me that the doctor was covered that I already had, so I signed up for it. And then when I went to select my doctor, they're like, oh, never mind. They're not in network. So I'm done. I am just removing myself from this system because it does not work for me. I'm sure it does not work for many other people, but my solution is to leave it. I'm moving to Portugal. I know it's probably not perfect there, but it has to be better than what it is here because at least there they have a system. Here, I don't know what's going on. It's collapsing. It's not working. I mean, I'd have to imagine at the very least, if I'm sick there, I could find a doctor and see a doctor. I don't think I'm being dramatic. This is the reality. We live in the country with the supposed best healthcare in the world, and I can't find a doctor. Does anyone else feel this hopeless, or is it just me?
So my boss didn't know that I was planning on moving out the country next year, which it's a year away, so why would she need to know? But she's like, oh, what are you going to do while you're out there? How are you going to find work? Work? You think I'm leaving America to go stress about a 9 to 5 somewhere else? She's like, well, how are you going to sustain yourself? And it just got me thinking, like, a lot of people don't know that you can live very comfortably, like on US dollars, you can live very comfortably in other countries. And I was like, you do know, like, rent at certain places is like $300-400 a month. Like, I'm going to save that up. I'm going to be gone for at least a year, so 12 months. So between rent, food, electricity, things like that, like, you can go somewhere else and not stress. I'm like, I'm just taking like a year siesta. And she is just so like, she just cannot believe it. Like, it's just so foreign. I'm like, yeah, you can leave America. It's fine.
So deportation used to be one of my biggest fears. Me being separated from my husband, my kids being separated from their father. Not my greatest fear, but definitely like top 3 fears. You know what my biggest fear is now? It's not deportation, even though that would be really bad. It's the detainment. It's being detained at places like Alligator, Alcatraz. And there'll be more. There won't just be that one detainment center that's surrounded by snakes and alligators, swamp. There's going to be more. It's written in Project 2025. Donald Trump put in one of his executive orders at the beginning of the year. I did a TikTok about it back then. Before, if you got caught by ICE, you would be detained, but probably get out on bond. You could get out on bond. Now, people are being held indefinitely, without access to a lawyer, without due process. They're just being held. And it's even questionable if you sign the voluntary, departure deportation papers that they always want you to sign, if you'll actually be deported to your home country. Because the Supreme Court now allows you to be deported to a third country. Could be Libya, could be Sudan, could be El Salvador. This is my biggest fear. Every time I see a video of somebody being tackled by ICE in a Home Depot parking lot, my instinct is to run as far as I can from this country. That is my instinct. That is my gut. That we need to get out before it's too late. And then I look around my hometown. I drive to work. I do the everyday robotic things that all us Americans do every day. And it's like nothing is happening. Life is normal. I'm going to work. I'm talking to people about the weather. It's like nothing's changed, but everything's changed. I don't see it outside my front door. Not yet, at least. But it's here. This is real life. And just because I don't see it outside my front door in my neighborhoods or in my city, doesn't mean that it still can't come to my front door and find my family. And at this point, is it even worth it to go through the legal process to be legalized, to get your papers? We're already started that process, but is it worth it at this point to stay in a country or fight in a country that doesn't want you here in the first place? Not everybody has the luxury to fight, to go out and protest. When people in mixed status families or immigrants go out to protest or speak out, like many of us do here on TikTok, we are putting a target on our back. We are putting our families at risk by speaking out. USCIS is supposedly using AI to find us now. And what we post here could affect our immigration case, because clearly freedom of speech is not what it was before. On Monday, we're going to go over to the Mexican consulate, and we're going to get our kids their Mexican passports. As many of you know, we've been looking into moving to Mexico for, hell, since November. Even before that, really, but we really started taking it seriously the last few months. And in order to get permanent residency through my kids that are already Mexican citizens, they need a Mexican passport as a form of ID. So we're going to go there, take care of that. That honestly is the last piece of paperwork we really need to do, or at least that we can do up here in the United States before going down there. And there's a very high chance that we are going to be going. So, yeah. So on this Independence Day, don't feel like much to celebrate. There really isn't much to celebrate. Nothing.
And here we are. There's Mom. Say hi, Mom. This is Pam.
Hi.
Where are we going?
Albania.
Albania. Why are we going there?
Why?
Yeah.
For a better life.
That's a great answer. Okay, look at all this stuff. Okay. We are trying to solve right now, including, this is a little sad for me. My art supplies. School was a long time ago. I could buy new paint.
I left the U.S. in 2021 to live abroad. I left broke with a paperclip plan and a hope for a better life. And I've learned so much along this journey. Some things have changed that I expected, right? Because it's the reason I left. But there are so many things that have improved in my life or that have changed in me that I could have never anticipated. And so I want to share with you a few things that I stopped doing that may inspire you to take that next step to leave the U.S. and move abroad. One is pretty much a big surprise to me coming from the United States. We are the consumer capital of the world. Is I stopped buying things. I know it sounds crazy. I was that girl who, if I ever went to Target, like I had to go to Target and spend $100 for what? Nothing. Never knew where it went, why I needed to go. I always had this pull to shop, to go, to spend, to even window shop. There was always this pull. But since I've left the U.S., I'd say it was pretty instantaneous, but definitely after about a year, I don't buy things. I don't buy things. If I spend money, it's on experiences like maybe food or, something like that. I don't even really do a whole lot of like sightseeing. It's not my thing, right? Because this is my life. I'm not vacationing. So I realized I don't spend money. And that has been significant because, one, I left broke. So I knew that I was going to have a shoestring budget just to survive and figure out what my next steps were to thrive. And so it really helped that I wasn't wasting money on things. It gave me the space and allowed me the freedom to try different things in terms of business and how to generate money, but I wasn't burdened with things. And it's been so freeing. And the interesting thing was, I just realized what part of the reason was that I was spending so much in the U.S. You're not going to believe this. So I've been streaming the Olympics, right? And I noticed, okay, so before I go into that, I don't watch TV anymore. I don't spend much time on TV. I might stream some videos on like movies or something on Netflix or documentaries, which is my favorite. But I don't spend my time watching television, which I did a lot in the United States. So I noticed that when the Olympics, I was watching it, streaming the Olympics, all these commercials kept coming up. And I noticed that I almost instantaneously went into a buying behavior. If something came on that interested me, I would immediately go and start searching out how to find it, how to buy it. And it clicked. Like I had to say, wait, what are you doing? This is not your life anymore. But what I realized is that commercials are inundating us with this need to buy. I think I underestimated how impactful it is until the Olympics. Again, I've been out of the U.S. for 3 years, and almost immediately that old behavior came back. Thankfully, I didn't buy anything. But that is one of the biggest benefits, I think, of leaving the U.S. is I'm not buying things, so I'm not spending money, which makes it a lot easier to live on less. Another thing that stopped for me, which, again, I kind of anticipated because like you, I've been watching videos of people who had left the U.S. and they would always talk about how their health improved, but I wasn't sure what that would look like for me. So just to give you some context, before I left the U.S., and this is right after the heat or the height of the pandemic, my body had literally deteriorated. I already had some pre-existing ailments before the pandemic, but the pandemic really exploited them. I had gotten to a point where I couldn't even stand up straight. I at one point thought that it was time for me to buy a scooter and that my life of walking around as an able-bodied person was over. I get a kind of emotional talking about it because I remember how that felt. And so my last-ditch effort was to go to a massage therapist in the United States and, just see what I could salvage. And she, massage therapists are experts. When they feel your body, they know. She said, listen, Your days of walking are not over. And at this point, I had shared with her that I had a dream of living abroad. And at that time, it was Portugal. And she said, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine yourself walking down the streets in Portugal. She said, you're going to be there. I consistently went to this massage therapist. It was expensive. I went 2, sometimes 3 times a week, but I gained full mobility. But I still had some lingering other issues that had nothing to do with mobility. I had neuropathy. I had migraines. I had edema, serious edema in my lower legs and feet. Sometimes I couldn't even put on shoes. I had extreme lower back pain that was paralyzing. I had itching, eczema, allergies. I had a lot of conditions. But when I left the US, almost immediately, a lot of those things subsided. I was taking depression medication. I no longer take that. I share this with you for those of you who are concerned and thinking of not leaving the U.S. because of medical conditions. One, be open to the idea that those medical conditions are a part of your environment, and when you leave, some of them will go away. Two, medical care abroad is so much more inexpensive. I've paid cash for every medical situation that I've had. You can leave, and if you do have a medication that you feel you need, you are likely going to be able to buy it over the counter for much less than in the U.S. Do not let your health condition stop you from exploring the opportunities. You want to set a leave date, get your passport, join my Leave the US Behind Planning Summit in the link in the bio.
JFK Airport even had to say that. Right now, even in the UK, a lot of people don't want to go to the US anymore because of what is happening. People are scared everywhere. Even me, America has always been like my dream. I want to go to America, but if you ask me right now, I'm going to tell you no. For now, no, because I am allergic to places like the alligator Alcatraz. To be honest, I can't stand the whole scenario. I can't even stand ice, capturing me and then putting the whole handcuffs and all of that. No, I'd rather stay. That's to tell you how much people are now trying to say no, 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 no. They are now trying to boycott that area, all because of what has been going on. If you know you're there, you're Haiti, you know you're there, you're affected, you have these issues too that has got to do with better citizenships. Please, I can go on my knees for you because I wouldn't want to see you go to the alligator Alcatraz. I wouldn't want you to be fed there because if you ask me, I'm going to tell you for a fact that that place is another, would I say, a modern kind of slavery, because that place, I'm speechless right now. But the whole idea of this video is to tell you that you should have an exit plan. Yeah, I know it's very, very financially demanding, but if you can, by all means, please do. Do not wait to put your family through all the whole stress of crying, through all the whole stress of, all of that. And if you don't even have a family, what about yourself? What about you being mentally, stopped and all of that? Get yourself an exit plan. I'll see you another time for a better or another good topic. Bye, guys.